Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, and instead of hiring a software engineer, a researcher, a marketing specialist, an analyst, and several assistants, you simply request AI workers. The results from the night before. Yes, they work day and night for you. Then you give each one a job and tell them to get to work. They would happily answer you, "Yes, big boss," or whatever you decide them to answer. If you have an idea at 2 a.m., they will be ready to help and have their attitude you request. If you request someone funny, he would try to be funny. They would not need vacations. They would not get pregnant. They would never get tired. They are ready to work longer hours than you. No unions, no labor conflicts. This sounds like heaven for any business person. This sounds like science fiction. But Elon Musk's XAI is pushing directly toward that future. With Grokbot, we may be watching the beginning of something much bigger than another AI chatbot. Grokbot is different from simply opening Grok and asking it a question. The idea is to create specialized AI workers, give them roles, give them instructions, and allow them to work on tasks for you. Imagine having one agent working as a software engineer, another researching your competitors, another helping organize your business, another analyzing information, and potentially many specialized agents working at the same time. And yes, the Grokbot will remember every click in your mouse, every keystroke. It will remember every move you do, forever. You see, we humans need to repeat things to remember them, but Grok only needs one time, and it will remember forever. And here is where things become crazy. Access to dozens of agents at around $200 per month. This is a completely different economic category, because we are no longer comparing the price with Netflix, ChatGPT, or another subscription. We have to compare it with the cost of human labor. How much do you pay the accountant? How much do you pay the secretary? How much do you pay your junior software engineers? How much do all of them make per month? $200? Dozens of agents. Think about it. Dozens of agents for $200. For workers, this is where, you know what, hits the fan. So imagine eventually having dozens of specialized AI workers available for roughly the cost of a few hours of professional human labor. They don't need an office. They don't commute. They don't sleep. Yes, they communicate with each other. Also, there is an agent director, and several agents can potentially work simultaneously. Suddenly, for a business owner, $200 doesn't sound expensive at all. Actually, it sounds like a gift from heaven. But there is something even more important happening here. This could change what we mean when we say, "I use artificial intelligence." For years, AI meant asking a chatbot a question. You ask, the AI answers. You ask another question, the AI answers again. Agentic AI changes that relationship. Instead of asking for an answer, you assign a job. Research this market, analyze these competitors, work on this software problem, organize this information, prepare the results, and come back when the work is finished. And Elon Musk is definitely not going to be alone. Anthropic started this trend in a different way, but it is pretty much the same thing. OpenAI is already moving aggressively in exactly this direction. ChatGPT can work across applications and files, break complicated objectives into smaller tasks, and continue working on a project for hours. OpenAI also has workspace agents designed to own complete workflows, and Codex users are increasingly running multiple agents in parallel. Google, Anthropic, and the rest of the AI industry have every incentive to move in the same direction. So the next AI war may not be about who has the smartest chatbot. It may be about who can give you the best digital workforce. And this creates a fascinating question. What happens to agentic AI engineers? To a junior software engineer? To the secretary that needs vacations or gets pregnant? Because the Grokbot will get better and better, even the senior software engineer may get in trouble later. In other words, the future may not belong to the person who knows how to create one AI agent. It may belong to the person who knows how to command an army of them. And if $200 can eventually put dozens of increasingly capable digital workers at your fingertips, we may be approaching something much larger than another AI application. We may be watching the beginning of the market for artificial labor. And if OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and xAI all start competing to give us better and cheaper AI workers, this could become one of the most important AI battles we have seen yet. The question is no longer simply, which AI is smarter? The question may soon become, which company can give you the best workforce, and yes, the best workforce. For $200 or $300 a month, Elon Musk may have just given everyone a very interesting reason to find out. Many will become their own boss now. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you get all my videos. If that didn't sound amazing, I don't know what will, but now we need to face reality. Only about 10% of Americans are business owners. So what about the other 90%? Are they really going to pay $200 a month for those AI agents? Let's take a look and compare Grok's approach with OpenAI's approach. This is very important. This will open your eyes to some points no one is talking about. Here on this graph, we can see that Sol and Grok are almost equally intelligent. Both of them score 61 points. Then we move down to Terra, and Terra is right there behind them with 57 points. But wait a second, because this is important. Look at Lunar. Lunar is now 1 point below DeepSeek. Lunar scores 52, while DeepSeek scores 53, and everybody is making such a big deal about that difference. But here is the reality. Whether you own a business or not, everybody wants to save money, and Lunar is still remarkably competitive. With the big boys in intelligence, 52 points is very close to 61 points, especially for the price of Lunar. Now let's look at output tokens per task, because this is where things start getting really interesting. Here we can see that Lunar, Terra, and Sol are 3 of the best performers. And let's face it, output tokens mean money. Generally speaking, the fewer tokens required to accomplish the same task, the better or the less money. Grok isn't bad. It's sitting at around 22,000 tokens. But then look at DeepSeek, around 39,000. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Chinese AI is not free. You need huge computing power to run OpenAI on your computer. I mean, huge computing power. But let's go even further. Let's look at cost per intelligence. And now, Lunar becomes the king. 5 cents. I am not kidding. 5 cents. Among these models, Lunar delivers an extraordinary amount of intelligence for the money. Think about the smartphone market. OpenAI may be positioning Lunar to become the Android of artificial intelligence, affordable, capable, accessible to almost everybody, while Kimi K3, Sol, Grok, and Anthropic fight the premium battle to become the Apple of AI. Lunar is quietly taking the Android spot. And there can be enormous money on both sides. Because remember, roughly 90% of Americans are not business owners. Most people don't need an army of AI agents working around the clock, and many of them are probably not going to spend $200 every month for computing power they don't even know how to use. They want something smart, fast, useful, and inexpensive. And this is where things get shocking. DeepSeek is only about 1 point ahead of Lunar on this intelligence measurement, but according to this cost comparison, DeepSeek is roughly 5 times more expensive. 1 point. 5 times the cost. Yes, I'm going to say this one more time. For 1 point, DeepSeek is 5 times more expensive than Lunar, and no one is talking about that. Now you can understand why Lunar is so interesting. And there's another graph I want you to see. When we compare intelligence score against total cost, look at the models. Inside the green rectangle, Lunar is the one closest to that upper left corner. And that's exactly where you want to be. Higher intelligence, lower cost. That's the sweet spot. That's why I believe Lunar could be becoming the Android of AI. But there is still one more thing we need to consider. Time. Because we all know time is money. So let's look at the speed versus intelligence graph and see who makes it into the green zone. And, surprise, surprise, Lunar is there. Terror is there. Sol is there. Claude and Grok also make it into that competitive area. But this time, Gemini Flash High takes the cake because it gets extremely close to that upper left corner. There's just one catch. Gemini Flash High is roughly 8 times more expensive than Lunar, at least for now. And this is why I don't think there will be one single winner in artificial intelligence. Grok may be building an army of digital workers for businesses willing to pay for that power. OpenAI may be building something completely different at the other end of the market, extremely capable intelligence that almost anybody can afford. One company may be fighting for the future of digital labor. The other may be fighting to put intelligence into everybody's hands. And if that happens, the biggest AI war may not be about who builds the smartest model. It may be about who figures out what people actually need and how much they're willing to pay for it. And you may ask, how all this connects? Well, it seems that we are in an era where everyone needs to start thinking like a business owner, because human workers are becoming a species in extinction. Lunar can solve 95% of your needs for less. For those special difficult needs, you can use Grok, Sol, Anthropic, or Kimi K3. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you get all my videos.